Hello, everybody. Welcome into Talking Fitchburg on this frozen tundra, cold, bitter, every word you can come up with. That means miserable. Tuesday, January 25th, 2022. Okay, well, the show's not miserable, but it's cold out there. My goodness, coldest night in store. Tonight, folks. You got to bundle up. We spent all of our update today talking about how to stay warm tonight. And I had never really heard about the putting the blanket over the window. That was a new one for me. I knew keeping your blinds down, helps keep kind of that barrier and cold air out. But you want them open during the daytime so you let heat in. So I don't know how to, tell me the right answer to that, folks. You can send that to Andrew Bamlett. He'll answer those for you. But we got a great show coming up for you today. We'll talk about some of that cold weather coming up. Make sure you stay safe out there. Everybody in the family. 4-legged to 2-legged. We're talking about them all coming up here. We'll also be talking with the Fitchburg Chamber. They're back. Yeah, we're excited to have them back on here. We'll have a chamber update for you. From the chamber will be here with that. And then we'll check in with our friends at DATCB. We're talking about resolutions. And really, Michael is here to tell us about the different generations and the scams, the potential scams with said generation. So it's kind of a cool breakdown, and Michael will be here to tell us about that coming up. But first, we do talk about that cold weather because it's just cold. So please follow these safety rules for the upcoming Arctic chill, especially when it comes to hypothermia. So we know it's bitterly cold out there, but this is when we're into that extreme cold. I mean, this is where it hurts to be outside, right? And tonight, if you are outside, you need to protect yourself, and especially even in the morning too. So limit your time outdoors. Everybody, doesn't matter who you are, including the pets. I mean, they're going to want to go out and go right back in. So, yeah, that's how that's going to work. Monitor for all signs of frostbite and hypothermia. At least we're not doing any shoveling or anything tonight. Hopefully you got all of that done, because yesterday, tonight here at 6 p.m., you had to have it all cleaned up. So hopefully you're not doing that. Dress in layers, cover up exposed skin. And again, keep those pets indoors when you can tonight. If you keep pets outside, better make sure that they have a warm area to be in. And know the signs of hypothermia. If you've got shivering, numbness, difficulty speaking, sleepiness, or you find somebody unconscious, call 911, but get them out of the elements. And truly, you need to dress up in layers. This is the extreme stuff. And we do have that wind chill you're looking at when the low temperature is -10 or -15, and then you got the wind chill -25. It is bitterly cold out there. I remember my days working at the other news agencies and having to stand outside being the camera guy on those days is the worst. So it's cold out there. Limit your time, and please check on loved ones tonight. All right, switching gears here. Upcoming election here coming up. We do not have a spring primary here in Fitchburg. So the spring primary is coming up on Tuesday, February 15th, but there is no primary in Fitchburg, and I believe not even in Madison. So we don't have to worry about that, but the actual spring election will be held on Tuesday, April 5th. Fall primary election will be held on Tuesday, April 9th, and the general election this year is on Tuesday, November 8th. And speaking of that, DMV wants to remind you that they're offering information on obtaining a free ID to vote in the spring election or spring primary, but in your election coming up here. So please make sure that you follow here. DMV has information on services to help people obtain their identification cards that's free of charge that are valid for voting. Part urges residents needing an ID to start the process now to have it in time for the spring election. Valid information for voting purposes includes a driver's license, identification card, military or student ID card. There's no separate voter ID. A federal compliant real ID card is not required for voting purposes. Anyone unsure if their identification meets the requirement should visit the Wisconsin Election Commission's website to check that out. To obtain the identification to show at the polls for voting, begin online at wisconsindmv.gov/ID cards. The required documents needed for the ID are not readily available. DMV has a process called the voter ID petition process to obtain necessary information. This process is available for free of charge and can be used quickly to obtain a receipt valid to take the polls for voting, while the remaining documents are verifications are obtained. Anyone with questions related to this, you can contact the DMV's toll-free voter ID hotline at 844-588-1069. And you can also check out elections.wi.gov for more information. Turning our attention to pet licenses. Pet license applications need to be turned in here pretty quick, and we want to make sure you know how to do that. Pet licenses are available in person at City Hall or by mailing or using the drop box at City Hall. When mailing applications for a dog or cat license, please include a copy of your current rabies vaccination certificate. Payment: do not include any other payments with your pet license, and a self-addressed stamped envelope. We will then mail you your license tag and your rabies information back to you. You may also leave these materials in a drop box at City Hall. We will mail your license tag, rabies information back to you. And if you have any questions, contact our clerk's office. Its number is 608-270-4200. You can go download the information at the website. Cost, by the way, spayed or neutered dog, $20. Non-spayed or neutered dog, $25. Late fee if the license is turned in after April 1st, $5 for cat license fee. Spayed and neutered cat, $5, and a non-spayed or neutered cat is $7 if you turn those in late. All right, that does it for the headlines. Coming up next, we open up our digest. We'll be checking in with the Fitchburg Chamber. Brandon will be here, tell you what's coming up for this year and this month of February. We'll be right back. You're watching TF.
It takes all of us to slow the spread of the coronavirus, so follow guidance from authorities where you live and stay home unless absolutely necessary. Use a delivery service for essential items like food and medicine. If you must make essential trips, stay 6 feet apart from other people. Wear a cloth face covering and wash your hands for at least 20 seconds as often as possible. Visit coronavirus.gov for the latest information.
Severe weather can strike anytime, anywhere, but there's a simple way to stay safe. Hey, Jim Cantore here. I stay safe in dangerous weather by planning ahead. You can stay safe too with a few easy steps. Build an inexpensive kit with supplies for your family's needs. Write down important information like phone numbers and medications. Always talk with your family, and remember any pets in your planning. Be ready, be safe. Start your plan today at ready.gov/plan.
Hey, boss. Okay.
Said I'm fine.
Me to bed, see you in the morning. With the frosted Superman, but it wasn't on it. And we lost it. In my head, in my head, in my head. Where you at? Underlay in my head.
Hey, son.
Hey, Bob.
You know you can talk to me.
Yeah.
We're all just trying to keep things running for those who rely on us.
Ready!
That's why we don't have time to be sick with the flu. And especially this year, no one has time to get sick. Get a flu shot for yourself and those around you too.
Welcome back into Talking Fitchburg. Joining me for the Fitchburg Chamber, they're back. It's Brandon Rounds. Brandon, how you doing, sir?
I'm so good. How are you today?
I am doing wonderful. You are back, but you were never really gone.
No, we're always here.
You have been there, and the whole team there has been working so hard during the pandemic, and I can't thank you guys enough. I think there's so many things that happen at a chamber that everybody will never know behind the scenes, and the good stuff that you're all doing. But you take a pandemic. I think the first place I would look to as a business is the chamber. Like, chamber, tell me something good. Tell me what's happening out there. So kind of looking back here in 2021 for the chamber, give us a little synopsis, kind of what happened at the chamber and what's been happening with our area businesses.
Yeah, I mean, just like you had said, we never really stopped working. We were always kind of behind the scenes. A lot of our stuff could be done working from home. So we were all working from home during the lockdown and everything, just trying to make sure that we were all remaining safe as well. But as soon as things kind of started to open up, we opened up our office and we were rotating, coming in one person at a time just to be here in case, our members needed anything. Our president and CEO, Angela, was working very hard behind the scenes, working with our local businesses to help with a lot of those grants and things that were going on. A lot of people didn't know what to do or how to fill them out. And she was, meeting with local, county, and state officials to, really make sure that she had a grasp on, what was needed specifically for the businesses. Always writing, the letters of recommendation for our businesses as well. Even, and the thing that I love too is that even if the businesses weren't part of the chamber, she still offered her services to help them, make sure that our businesses are thriving here in Fitchburg. We did a lot of shop local campaigns. People were buying gift cards and, doing a lot of shopping online and things like that, and not actually going into stores. And we were focusing a lot on, that kind of stuff for our businesses to make sure that people were supporting with gift cards for their friends and family around the holidays and things like that. We did a lot of takeout campaigns for our local restaurants because restaurants were getting hit really hard as well. So just encouraging, our local community to utilize them for, takeout for their family and making sure we're supporting all of them as well. We, as a chamber, we also have, a lot of small businesses, a lot of large businesses. We were doing some different webinars. We kept doing some virtual webinars for networking. So we were doing some networking for people so that they could still meet new people and, still remember those friendly faces that you would see in our events. But we did marketing mission, which was focused on really online marketing because it was huge. I mean, it's huge right now, and it was huge during the pandemic. So we were focusing a lot of that stuff for our businesses too.
Do you think the pandemic really opened up the doors for buy local campaign? Because I feel like for me, I whatever community I live in, I try to support as much as you can. But I feel like you saw more people actually take advantage of the great things. And in Fitchburg, I mean, we are so fortunate with the different business and types and shops and restaurants that buying local, I think, got a boost. But from your standpoint, how did that look?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think so too. On our website, we have our business directory, and on our business directory, we have specific things that were buy local or takeout specified. And they were two of our top visited pages in 2021. So it was great to see that. It was great to see that for, people who were trying to support local. So yeah, we definitely saw that, and that was really great.
Yeah, I think such a good thing, and it's something that the chamber strives on, among other things, is shop local, and we got some great businesses here in Fitchburg. As we look ahead to 22, we're still in a pandemic, still going, but light at the end of the tunnel, no matter which way you look at it, because that's what I got to tell myself every day. But what should we look forward to from the chamber's perspective?
So as of right now, we are hoping to move forward with some in-person events. We would like to record a lot of the in-person events. We're starting Business Before 9 again in February. We are requiring COVID vaccination cards, and if you're not feeling well, stay home. So we require those and registration. We're not having as many people as we used to, just because we want to make sure that people feel safe attending our events. So, we're kind of moving forward with events that, that you've seen in the past, and possibly some new things that you might see as well. But, of course, we'll have the chamber golf outing in June. We've already got that set. It's a nice, fun outdoor event that we can do. And hopefully we'll bring back some more business after fours on some patios in the weather, if the weather's great as well. So we're looking forward to a fun, healthy, and prosperous 2022 for our businesses and our community.
Yeah, it will be nice to get together, and it's big on the networking. I mean, if there was one other big piece, I think, to the chamber, it's networking, business to business, certainly, and they're itching, I'm sure, to get back and talk to everybody.
Yeah, absolutely. We've had, we first started out doing a small event called Chamber Table Talk. It was in Business Before 9, we always had Chamber Table Talk in the beginning, where we offered a topic for a small roundtable discussion. And I wanted to bring that back to create a smaller group setting for our members before we brought back these bigger events. just to see the feeling of how people are feeling with getting together again. So we've been hosting this since November at Oasis Cafe here in Fitchburg, and I've kept it limited, but it always sells out for the amount of people that we have. I allow 14 people, so 2 groups of 7, and COVID vaccination cards are required to come, and people feel safe to come in and do that. So I'm excited to bring back, some of these events and remain safe, and hopefully people will be respectful like that too.
All right, Brandon. Well, thank you so much for the update. Glad you're all doing well out there, and thank you again so much for all your work behind the scenes and more. We're glad to have you out there. People want to learn more about the chamber, finding businesses, or just staying up to date on what's happening. Where can they find you?
You can find us on all social media, Fitchburg Chamber, or visit Fitchburg, and then also our website, fitchburgchamber.com. Give us a call at the office. We're always here. We're happy to offer recommendations if you're looking for something here in Fitchburg. So absolutely do any of that.
All right, Brandon, thank you so much. Looking forward to talking to you next month.
Yeah, thanks, Jeremy.
You bet. Again, check out the Chamber's website and social media. If you're not following them, you're missing out. They got a lot of good information out there. We'll take a quick break. More to come. You're watching Talking Fitchburg.
You could be spreading the coronavirus without realizing you have it. So follow guidance from authorities where you live and do your part. It's important to limit in-person interaction with anyone outside of your immediate household, but phone and video chat are safe ways to connect. It's also important to limit any social gathering. This advice applies to people of any age, including teens and younger adults. Visit coronavirus.gov for the latest information.
After you joined our family, it was like, I really do feel complete now.
Our hearts are made stronger by how we treat others.
Put her there.
The light you share can impact those around you, but so can the darkness.
Later, twerps.
Did Pete saying mean things bother you?
So when you reach out to another person, take a moment to consider how they will feel and let your heart be the key to making a difference. Because of you, someone's entire day, year, or even life can change.
In every heart, there's hope.
Brandon met a girl on a dating app. He finally found the courage to ask her out. No answer. He started to panic. Was he being...
Hey, sorry I didn't respond. I was driving.
She must be a keeper.
We're all just trying to keep things running for those who rely on us. That's why we don't have time to be sick with the flu.
We don't have time for delays.
Ready!
We don't have time for spills.
Next.
We don't have time for setbacks. Let's be real.
Getting the flu shot
helps you fight the flu.
Get a flu shot for yourself and those around you too.
Welcome back into Talking Fitchburg. Joining me today from the Department of Ag, Trade, Consumer Protection. We've got Michael back on the show, still hanging out in the cabins in a forest near you. Michael, how are you doing today?
Doing great. I'm in my happy place.
Exactly. I got to work on my happy place. I mean, the fireplace is nice, but your place looks a lot more happier than mine. Happy New Year to you and to everybody at DATCP. And today we're talking about New Year's resolutions and talking about the different generations and how maybe some of the scams or some of the things that we want to do to protect you affect the different generations. So what is the approach here from DATCP?
Yeah, great. Thanks for having me, and Happy New Year to you as well. So as we're looking through the different generations and what their focuses are in New Year's resolutions, we're looking for areas and opportunities that DATCP can help. And so the first is research shows that Gen Z is typically focused on the financial resolutions. And here in 2022, I would say that the biggest hot thing in the financial sector is Bitcoin and cryptocurrency, I should say. And so with cryptocurrency, there's certainly an element of legitimacy, and data shows that most cryptocurrency transactions are legitimate, but with anything, there's a fraudulent element, and that's where we can help. The scam element is starting to migrate with cryptocurrency a little bit. Initially, we thought it was just an investment opportunity and guarantee returns, and now we've seen some offshoots of that. But I will say we certainly want to emphasize the first one that we continue to see the most is guaranteed return rates, or a certain amount of money you can get in cash back right out of the gate. And those are most often going to be scams. It's almost impossible to guarantee a return rate on any financial investment unless you're going to have the capital that you're going to push forward, which is rarely what you see. But what's interesting is we're starting to see a couple different angles of the cryptocurrency scams, with the first ones being the romance angle, and some of that tying into whether it be dating apps or an approach of trying to solicit a bit of romance and then transitioning into some type of crypto investment. And then once that's done, then all of a sudden that particular person breaks off contact and doesn't hear from them again. And we've seen a handful of complaints coming in where there's substantial amounts of money being lost because of that romance angle. And then another one is interesting, as we've seen on TV, a couple new celebrities endorsing crypto. We saw Tom Brady and Matt Damon. And, you know, when you have something like that, it adds that element of legitimacy to what's being offered. And we've seen some other criminals trying to steal images and posting those on offerings typically without the celebrity's understanding at all, and certainly without their endorsement, and that being used to lure unsuspecting, you know, Gen Z population in, thinking, well, if this certain influencer or celebrity is saying it's legitimate, it must be, and they're using that. So the next generation that we kind of looking at is the millennials, and the millennials, as they're starting to transition in this new job market, where we're seeing more of a transition into a little bit more flexible career models. One of those type of models that we've seen forever has been around, you know, starting way back with beauty products or kitchen products. But now there's more and more different angles on that type of pyramid selling, or even a recruitment type business model. And one of the things as you're looking at that we really encourage everyone, and especially this generation, to pay attention to is, what are the claims that are being made and are they realistic? Sometimes we'll see exaggerated profits where they're going to say, look, we can guarantee you're going to make X amount of money, or they're saying there's an absolute market niche in your area where you could, you know, exploit that and make a ridiculous amount of money. And oftentimes, you know, those are claims that can't be substantiated either with experience or data. So they want to be careful as to what they think those guaranteed earnings are going to be. And then another one that we'll see is often you see no selling, you know, and when you see no selling, that's certainly alluring, but no business model is going to work without selling. And where they're changing that up and kind of manipulating that term is, you may not necessarily have to be selling a product to a specific consumer, but what you're doing is you're actually recruiting, and the business model is dependent on these individuals recruiting other people into, whether it be their team or that particular market. But in essence, you're still selling. You're just selling the program instead of selling a product. And so if you tie into one of these thinking, well, I'm not really good at marketing or selling or sales, and this one doesn't offer that, so it's perfect for me. Well, in reality, you are. So you're going to make your initial investment and realize you still have to do all those things, which may leave you with a substantial loss. Then as we transition into Generation X or Gen Xers, you know, they're kind of past a little bit. They've spent, you know, a few decades doing that investment, and now it's more about maybe lowering the risk factors and saving a little bit more as they get a little bit closer and approaching retirement. And with that savings, because there isn't oftentimes quite as much opportunity to maybe handle a few losses, we encourage them to make sure they're watching their credit, watching their accounts a little bit more closely, so that when it does come time to retire, things get locked in, they know what's really there. And right now is a great time to do it. During the pandemic, the federal government is offering free credit reports. So we encourage everyone to go to www.annualcreditreport.com. And they can check their credit reports and make sure that everything is looking on the up and up. And if they do see anything, they can immediately put a freeze on it. And there's instructions on how to do that. And then transitioning a little bit away from the financial sector and into the baby boomers who, you know, are past all the, the investments and the retirement accounts and all that. But now we're looking a little bit more at longevity. And with longevity, we've seen a huge focus on health and fitness probably over the past decade. And so you're seeing different gyms. And what's unique here, and what we encourage everyone to do, is to kind of focus on what your needs are with the gyms that you're looking at. There are so many different varieties of training regimens, and is an exercise for every single muscle or bone that there is in the body. And so what we encourage everyone to do is go to that facility, take a tour, look around, make sure that it fits. If you're deciding you just want to walk on a treadmill, but you're going to a gym that is filled with kettlebells and weights, that might not be the right fit. So make sure you check it out. And then another is ask them if you can have maybe a 1-week trial membership or pop in for a couple days and see what's going on. Make sure it's also the right environment you're comfortable in. If you're just starting out and you're going with, a group of gym members who have been going for years, it might be intimidating and it might not be the right environment for you to get started. So take all those in before you sign a contract, because many times you're going to see 1- and 2-year contracts that you're going to read the details on, but you don't want to get locked into something that you're just not happy with.
Wowza. That is you said you're giving an overview, and that is the overview. Certainly any of the stuff that you talked about today, folks can find more information. I know it was a lot of information, but if they do want to learn more about some of the scams you were talking about, or just some good safety tips, where can they find those?
That's great. Go to our website at datcp.wi.gov, and we'll offer both information and how we can offer assistance in all those areas that I just talked about.
Fantastic. Michael, thank you so much for the update and your time. We appreciate it, and we'll look forward to seeing you and the others this year from DATCP.
Sounds great, Jeremy. Thanks for the opportunity. Good to see you.
Good to see you as well. Take a quick break. More to come. You're watching Talking Fitchburg.
See on page 4 that the projections need to be blood next Thursday.
Seriously? Thursday? Can't do that.
This is really inconvenient.
I have yoga that day.
I have no time for this.
So
I can't do Thursday, but I can do Friday.
Disasters don't plan ahead. You can. Talk to your loved ones about how you're going to be ready in an emergency. Don't wait. Communicate.
Type 2 diabetes can have a big impact on your life, but how can it be prevented? Well, the first step is knowing if you have prediabetes, a serious medical condition that puts you at high risk for type 2 diabetes. 1 in 3 American adults has prediabetes, but more than 80% don't know they have it. The good news is, prediabetes can be reversed, and for many people, healthy changes in their daily routine can make a big difference. Take the 1-minute risk test today at doihaveprediabetes.org.
Severe weather can strike anytime, anywhere, but there's a simple way to stay safe. Hey, Jim Cantori here. I stay safe in dangerous weather by planning ahead. You can stay safe too with a few easy steps. Build an inexpensive kit with supplies for your family's needs. Write down important information like phone numbers and medications. Always talk with your family, and remember any pets in your planning. Be ready, be safe. Start your plan today at ready.gov/plan.
If you love them enough to suck the snot out of their nose at 4 a.m., then surely you'll check nhtsa.gov/the right seat to make sure they're in the right car seat.
Welcome back into Talking Fitchburg. Wrapping up the show for today, I want to thank Brandon from the Fitchburg Chamber and Michael from Department of Ag, Trade, Consumer Protection. We appreciate both of their gentlemen's help, and we'll get both of these posted up online for you. Of course, you can check that out on our Facebook page and YouTube page at or where or how right there. Yeah, Andrew's got you covered. Check us out on Facebook, YouTube. If you haven't followed us or liked us there, can you just like us? We're nice. Have a good night.